right, let's talk this boxing this fun morning, this fair, fine morning. What's going on to my man Dwayne Jones in the building? What's happening with you this morning, sir? Hope everything is well in Atlanta. Adrian Vent, salute to you. Always pleasant to see you in the morning, man. Makes my day to see you and Viva Tu Vida. Always the first ones in the chat, ready to talk this boxing. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Errol Spence Jr. still getting a lot of slack as a coward, despite the fact that this man had this eye injury, and despite the fact that Manny Pacquiao lost so hideously to Yordenis Ugas that cats really can't get over it, man. I find it pretty interesting that continues to keep going on, man. Charlie Rock in the building, man. But make sure as we talk about this stuff that you guys bring up the things in boxing that you guys want to talk about. As I said, the title, we pretty much get into that to begin with, but after that, we can talk about whatever else you guys got going on, man. The Bashid, what's going on? Salute to you, brother. How are you, man? Be Easy said, Grand Rising, Martin, greetings from Philadelphia. Let's chop up some good boxing talk. Yes, sir. You know, there was some really good boxing talk on yesterday, man. I was looking at ES News, and I got to hear one of my favorite, what do you call it, executives talk, man. And that was Steven Espinoza from Showtime, man, talking about the potential of the Gervonta Davis, Keith Thurman fight. I got a video coming about that later, man. I don't want to give up too much in it, but it was a good day of listening to boxing, man. There was a lot of really good stuff going on, man. Man, what's going on to my man Be Easy in the building? John Mayfield, what's going on, man? Albert Doughty, what's going on? The Copper Aborigines in the building says, salute brother Martin Blackwell for non-international boxing. Yes, sir. Salute to you as well. Mike Rhyme in the building, as always. TJ Boxing. Where did that roll to? You said, Jaime, for yesterday, so many people. It was a great show yesterday. Had to come back again. Yeah, man, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, man. It should be another good show this morning. I'm a little bit tired, man, because I could not go to sleep last night. I've been having a hard time going to sleep. So if I seem like I have a little lower energy, that's just because, you know, I don't know, man, my whole sleep regimen is messed up, man, and it's kind of a pain. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that circumstance where you can't sleep, and then you do sleep and you can't sleep, just kind of getting up and down at night. Kind of just, you know, got me a little bit drained this morning. So I'm not quite sure how long I'll go this morning, but hopefully we can get in a really good conversation, man. Copper Aborigine said, Brother Martin, those are Manny Philippine fan hurt. They see Manny sucking cereal through a straw. Man, that was kind of brutal. You know, them after the fights, just to see that, what he goes through. I don't know, man, if that was what she was trying to do, is show like what it is that Manny Pacquiao go through for her country or not. But I don't know, man. For him to say that Yordenis Ugas was his easiest competition, to me sounds like, you know, that was quite a stretch, man. You know what I'm saying? That is quite a stretch to get beat up like that and then claim that the guy was an easy fight. Who knows how that works? You know. Say he can't seem to feed himself. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure he could have picked up the spoon. His eyes are really swollen. Looked like he should have had some ice packs on his eyes, man, to get that swelling down. But that was really, really, yeah, man. Yeah. Yes. Thomas Delorme versus Ennis, set for the end of October or November. I saw that. The return of the return of the best young welterweight, because in my opinion that is Jaron Ennis. I can't wait to see him fight Thomas Delorme. I think that's a really good step up fight for him too. Delorme is he's a solid fighter, man, and it's not like it's going to be, you know, it's going to be easy. And I think by beating him, I think that he'll prove that he belongs in the upper echelon of that division, man. Yeah, he said Ennis will beast him. I think Ennis will beast him. Pretty sure he will. See, like I said, man, you guys got to excuse me. See, I'm working for you, though, because, man, I'm telling you, I'm way tired, man. I should go back. I should go take a nap, but I don't know exactly how much that's going to achieve getting in the middle of the workday sleeping. But make sure you guys during the comment section leave your questions and leave your like the different things that you guys want to talk about, man, so we can keep the chat interactive. Brazy Too Deep. Fannon, I'm hoping that something was mixed up in the translation by saying it was the easiest. I think he said it in English, man. But I don't. If you mean the translation in his mind, no, I think he backed it up when he said it was that it was one of his easiest opponents, and it's something he should have been able to figure out. He should have been able to step to the side of him, and he said he knew what to do to beat him. He just couldn't do it. I mean, he pretty much just described what it is, what old age is, I don't know if he sees it as old age, but that's what I see it as old age. Like, I can see a basketball rim and like, oh, it's just right there. All I got to do is jump. But then when I jump, it's like, whoa, man, it's like I got lead to my legs or something. Didn't used to feel like that at all. That's just one of the things that comes with age, and recognizing that I think is an important thing, especially when you're, in a sport like boxing, where you get when you get old against the wrong person on the wrong day, can really cause you a lot of worries, man. So, I just think it is him really getting old and not recognizing it as what it is, being what it is, or maybe it's pride getting in the middle of it, Be Easy said, Martin, will Ennis get in the title picture in 2022, or do you think he's avoided? Will he just go to dominate 154? I don't think that he's going to be in the title picture in 2022 because of the way that it's set out. I mean, you don't have, I don't think it's August. There's going to be one more championship fight in the welterweight division this year, and that should be Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter. So that should be the one fight that's left this year. And then in 2022, you're talking about Errol Spence Jr. against Ugas, or you're talking about Ugas versus Manny Pacquiao 2. And then I don't think that they're going to strip Errol Spence Jr. for not defending his title. So I think more than likely he's going to have to go up to, he's either going to have to wait to 2023 at 147 when it clears out, or he's going to have to go up to 154 pounds and then fight to be a mandatory, which quite honestly, man, may really be the route for him, man, because I think he has the ability to beat Brian Castano. And he's right. And Jermell Charlo, you never know, man. I think he may be able to beat Jermell Charlo too. He's got a lot of talent, man. And that's a slightly bigger weight class, but I think he's probably a more well-rounded fighter than Jermell. So, I think 154 pounds really may be, where he winds up being, That's kind of my, you see, 2022. Yeah, this is, he said Ennis will rule 154 in 2022. Yeah, in 2022. Next year, I think he probably does need to move up in order to get that in order to get that off. But even then, he's still going to have to fight his way up into becoming a mandatory, in order to get that shot. Because I don't see Jermall Charlo taking that fight with him just off of being just a contender, just off the rip, So really, I think it's, I don't know, man. It looks like there's a little bit of a log jam at 154 and 147. But look, man, Jaron Ennis is the guy that can get through that log jam. If anybody can get through that log jam, Jaron Ennis can do it. At least that's my take on it. And I hope one of the things about boxing is that it takes so long for this stuff to go. I mean, if you think about how long it took for Errol Spence Jr. to get through, I think it's just kind of the same situation, man, where it may take him a while to break through, Copper Aborigine said Ennis will beat the brakes off of Charlo. Yeah, I mean, I think he may get Charlo, man. I think Charlo, has shown some, he's definitely shown some kinks in his armor over the last couple fights, over the last 3 or 4 fights. Really. Oh man, I hate this, man. I hate having these sleeping problems, man. Now the things it's really hitting me on the head this morning, man. It's all up to Pacquiao. What is this? If he hangs it up, those punches are addiction from training. What are you talking about? The fact addiction from training? I mean, he's just addicted to the sport of boxing. Is that what you're saying? Freddie Jimenez, what's going on, Freddie Jimenez? Pac-Man cannot let go. He got whipped by Ugas, giving up excuses on leg cramps and so on, and say he should have won that fight because Ugas, it's not a fighter that it's not a fighter. He's going to get a rematch. Yeah, I mean, if he wants that rematch is definitely from there. What's going on, Mark Booker? How you feeling, man? Hope all is well out there, man. What's going on to the Shy? He said, Lafusa, oh, man, age is catching up to me. No doubt about it, man. No doubt. Nah, it was my lack of sleep last night that is catching up to me. I get up so early in the morning, to do the show, and then, I work during the day, and, at nighttime, man, sometimes I want to go to sleep at like 8:30 at night, man. But then when I go to sleep at 8:30 at night, I'm up all throughout the night, and it's hard for me to go back to sleep, or at least it's been hard for me to go back to sleep for the last for the last week or so, man. But it may be age catching up to me, man. Trying to get up and talk this boxing early in the morning. Hard act to follow said, good morning, brother. EJ would have stopped Manny. He said Ugas was his easiest fight. Pac should get out before it's too late. Ugas beats him again. Yeah, and I think Ugas smashes him in the second fight because he just doesn't have anything to give to him, man. And it's easier to keep him out of range now. So now what they're going to do, he said, AK-47 vape, sleep like a baby. Man, I'm leaving them vapes alone, man. I tried to take some melatonin, took some melatonin, and I think that helped a little bit, but, not like I really wanted to. I think, I don't know, man. I just hopefully my body cuts me a break and gets into a rhythm pretty soon, because as of right now, man, it's kind of messed up, man. He said, what's up, my brother? What is the blue wrench about? It's just people that are moderators on the channel that get a chance that if there's something going wrong, you can block somebody in the chat who may be talking crazy or doing something like that. Aberrant said, it is Martin, mind and body out of balance. Do some fishing early in the morning. Yeah, man, my wife is telling me I need to get out and get get out there and exercise more and get my body real tired so that I can sleep through the night. I think I'm going to try the exercise today and make sure that either I'm going to go swimming or something like that, because I got to beat this, man. Seriously, man. Some dude 94 said Manny has never lost a rematch except for Marquez 4. Yeah, but here's the problem. Manny's never been 42 years old before. Manny's never been 42 years old before, man. Manny's not, I mean, yeah, he won a rematch against Eric Morales, 10, 12 years ago, and he won a rematch against Tim Bradley, man. But I'm telling you, man, that stuff was a long time ago, man. That's a long time ago, man. And it's not the same guy. I'm telling you, Yordenis Ugas is gonna make it worse, man. He's gonna stand up there against Manny Pacquiao and say that stuff like, hey, what's your excuse this time? Like Antonio Tarver told Roy, man, all right, man, what's your excuse gonna be this time? Because that rematch is it's gonna be worse, man. That dude's more than likely gonna get knocked out. And it's not like Yordenis Ugas is the biggest power puncher in the world. It's just that, he's just, I sound like a broken record with it, but it's just, hey, man, the dude is too old, and that's just what it is. And sometimes you got to admit that you're too old and tuck your chain and walk on with your, walk on, man. He was the greatest in the world, and it meant to, I don't ever think he was the greatest in the world, but, he was at that peak before, but that's the peak he was at, and he's not at that peak anymore. And, I think he needs to accept that and, man, keep it pushing. But more than anything, man, the Manny Pacquiao fans, y'all got to keep it pushing. Like, that's the thing that is energizing him are the same things that needs to, where it really needs to, the same thing that needs to keep it pushing. Right along with him is these Manny Pacquiao fans, man, because it's just so much disrespect, man. Bearcat Hampton said, Bud stopped Delorme like 6 years ago. Delorme is coming off 2 straight losses. When is Boots going to fight along live dog? Delorme isn't. I suspect the problem is, I suspect the answer to that question is whenever some live dog wants to get in there with him. You know, let the live dogs get in with him. I mean, but I think Thomas Delorme, for somebody that is an up and coming fighter, that's a good fight, man. You know, and Delorme, yeah, and if he's able to, and I think you're also going to see Thomas Delorme's been in some recent. Now, I guess he is coming off 2 straight losses, but that's typically how they build fighters. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I got a lot of high praise and a lot of like big wishes and for Jaron Ennis, but at the same time, man, he's a prospect and he's going through the fights that he needs to go through, man. That's just what it is, man. And I don't think that's a bad matchup at all, man. Arch Nimmy TV said, like, no question is a dumb question, my brother. I was unaware of, and now I'm aware of what the wrench means now. Why was it a dumb question? I never said it was a dumb question. I didn't say there was anything. If you're talking about me, you're not talking about me, because I don't think that was a dumb question. I'll let you know that what it's for, man. Not everybody knows everything in the chat. And yeah, Lipinus was definitely a good win for Boots. Yep, no doubt about it. And so was what is that other guy? Abreu? I think Abreu, the dude he was fighting who was a 154-pounder, weighed in, looked like he was actually bigger than Jaron Ennis. I thought that was a good one as well, man. Sora 47M said Boots can't get a live dog right now. He's high risk, low reward. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. He's going to have to work his way up. He's not going to be able to just get, some of the benefits some other people got. Blessed coffee, man. Let me get another hit of that coffee. So he said, we get older and our bodies still want to go exercise 30 minutes a day, push-ups. And if you have your bicycles, go ride in the evening. If you and yours have bicycles, go riding in the evening together. Yeah, my favorite type of exercise is to get into the pool, jump up and down in the pool. And that usually gets me a nice bit of tiredness in my legs. So I think that I'm going to try to probably go do that this afternoon and get my body together on the exercise, because ever since I stopped exercising, my sleep has been off. So definitely going to get back to that, get back to walking around the block several times. I like doing that type of stuff, man. B splitting. How can people call Wilder a sore loser when he was clearly cheated, but celebrate Manny with all the crying and excuse making, but clearly he got beat up by the bigger man? Well, that's because people are hypocrites. Hypocrisy is not something that is unheard of or rare in this world. One person can see the same thing and treat people different ways based on the same set of facts all the time. If one little kid is loud in class, he's just, it's just his youthful energy or whatever. And another kid is doing it, he's a future criminal, So, hypocrisy is not, it's a word for a reason, man. Like I say, there are rules and there are laws that are put on the book because people do the things that are, on the books. The word hypocrisy is out there because there's a lot of hypocrites in the world. And I think to a certain extent, we all kind of do it from time to time. But most reasonable people try to check themselves on their own hypocrisy and make sure that they're treating people fairly. But that's just not the way it goes in American boxing, man. They treat two different people with the same set of facts radically different, kind of like how ESPN decided to put out that arrest on Jamal Charlo onto their network, but they didn't do anything that I recall with Sergey Kovalev. When Sergey Kovalev was sued for beating up a woman, I didn't hardly hear anything about that, except for on some secondary platforms, right? But it's just kind of how it goes, man. And no, they don't, man. Absolutely do not, man. Oh man, look, we only got 50 likes, man. Let me get to asking for my likes, man. It's probably because I'm a little low energy today. And you guys are being lazy on me, man. Come on, man. Get the likes up, man. We only got 50 likes. 200 people in the building. We got 70 likes. All right, come on, man. Get the likes up, man. Get the likes up over 200, man. Keep track with the likes, man. Copper Aborigine said, cheaters cry for cheaters. The evidence speaks for itself. blind man, plus you didn't want to hear the truth. Yeah. And the truth is, man, look, all these legends fade, man. You know what I'm saying? As much as I'm a big fan of Errol Spence Jr., all these injuries that he's getting, you know, they worry me, man. You know, it's like kind of like one thing after another with Errol Spence as of late, and one of them was really big, and the next one was big. So, you know, hopefully that car accident didn't create a situation where, you know, now he's going to be breaking down, or other portions of his body are going to break down quickly over time because of the trauma it took. But, you know, you just got to kind of accept what things are. But as of for right now, Chillville said, good morning, Martin, dropping frat knowledge this morning. Oh yeah, you know how it is. You gotta, hey man, you gotta use it when you got it, man. What's going on? Richard Hill in the building. What's going on, man? Hope everything's well with you this morning. Southern T Boxing and Sports, man. What's good with you, man? Hope everything's well with you. Hope your channel's doing well and you're growing and all that good stuff like you want to. Ron Miller said, Martin, did you watch Muhammad Ali grandson Nico Ali Walsh's debut fight? No, I didn't see it though. Man, that's a strange looking Ali though. Nah, he looked like a white boy, doesn't he? He must be mixed. Like he must be a mixed kid or something like that. But no, I didn't get to see it, man. But I'm glad. I wish the best for him for sure. I mean, I remember when Layla Ali fought for the first time and how cool it was to see Layla Ali out there, because she really did moved like her father. So, you know, like had a lot of physical similarities to him. So that might actually be cool. Yeah, Ron Miller said his father's white. Yeah. Obviously something's going on, because I know Ali always had babies by black women. So but though probably really light-skinned black woman I do believe is Veronica Porsche. So that's probably Veronica Porsche's grandson or something like that. Ali's grandson is Mediterranean. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Thanks, man. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what he was. I just knew that he looked like he definitely has something mixed up in him, though, for sure, man. But no, I'll tell you, man, I wish him the absolute best for sure, man. Chillville in that super chat, man. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the love in the morning, man. Appreciate it, man. Southern T Boxing said, I appreciate that, OG. I just got monetized and I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. That's what's up, man. Congratulations on your monetization, man. That's what's up. That's a big moment in your YouTube stuff when you can go out there and then you can make money. Now you just got to keep on grinding, and it can be a grind, but it is fun at the same time, man. You know what I mean? Only the Strong said it's pointless to rematch Usyk. He's gonna lose really bad in the rematch. Well, it's not completely pointless. The main point of it is that, man, you better accept what's going on, or you better figure out how to train and change the way you fight at that age. Because if he's going to be thinking he's going to be the fastest man and overwhelm people with his foot speed and athleticism, you know, hey, man, that's pretty much out the window. So I don't know what he's going to do with all that, with that issue, as far as him, you know, being able to be the fastest guy in the building and lightning quick. Because, you know, to give Manny Pacquiao his credit, Manny Pacquiao is a tremendous athlete, man. Like a tremendous athlete in the boxing ring, you know. And that's his advantage over almost everybody that he fought, except for when he ran into Floyd Mayweather Jr. Is just that he can hit you with stuff that you don't think you should get hit with because he's so fast. And you really can't do anything with his timing. But, you know, when Jordani Zugas got his timing, so it is what it is, man. It's time to fess up, homie. Copper Aborigine said, EJ has been hiding that eye injury. We all cheat the eye machine. This time his coach finally got an outside doctor, not those in boxing. So you're saying that they said they were cheating. AJ's been hiding that eye injury, and we all cheat the eye machine. This time his coach finally got an outside doctor, not those of boxing. Well, look, man, I'm certainly hoping that this winds up being a situation where he heals that sucker up and everything is good and he's okay to continue to fight. Because, you know, I'm not one of these guys that just says, man, B-Splitting says, shout out to New Media, Fannon, Blue Blood Sports TV, top 2 boxing channels in no order. Hey, man, you can get that man that title. He does really good work, man. Great to keep up the great content. Thanks, man. I keep pushing the content. Watch my videos, man. Share my videos, man. That would be greatly appreciated. I don't know how many people that watch the videos actually share them, but I would appreciate if you shared the video, man. I'm loving doing this boxing. I love talking boxing, man, with you guys, man. It's like an absolute joy when we talk about it, man. Make sure this is a two-way conversation. You guys give me questions and give me the things that you want to talk about in the comment section. I kind of want to get on the lightweight division this morning a little bit. Iambo said, but Fannon, I think Manny is faster than Floyd, just that Floyd had better timing and a better boxing. Well, yeah, I think that he probably was faster than him, but not so much faster that he can do whatever he wanted to do to him. Because Floyd Mayweather Jr. is a tremendous athlete, man. You know, Manny Pacquiao probably does have like faster hands, but since he's not so much faster than Floyd, that Floyd can handle him, because Floyd will tell you that he's not the fastest in the world, he's not the strongest, doesn't hit the hardest, but you know he's the best boxer. And you're right, timing really does mean timing really does mean a lot, man. Fannon, who do you think Tank will end up in the ring with? I'm going to tell you, more than likely his name is going to be a Latino last name, and he's going to be flat-footed. That is the most likely scenario for Gervonta Davis, man. I really wish that I could say Whitsett said timing over everything. Yeah, man, ain't that crazy how that works? Because if you know right when they're coming, boom, timing is everything in life, man. Timing is important in life, man. To know what you're doing and be there right during the time when you're supposed to be there. That is an absolutely essential thing, man, and a big thing in life, man. I'm going to ask something real quick. Oh, no, I'm good. My little shot of coffee kicked in, man. He said Manny was faster and Floyd was quicker. Yeah, Floyd also has less moving parts. Look, Floyd doesn't have a lot of moving parts. Like, he doesn't move excessively. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, man, come on, let's get the like. We got 238 people in the building, man. Let's get the likes over. Let's get the likes over 200, man. Let's get them likes over 200 people. Bearcat Hampton. Something my lady put me up on for sleep is a powder called Natural Calm. Check it out. Also, Boots was getting clocked by Lipinets. Just wonder what happens if Spence landed those same shots. I didn't really see that, man. I knew that he was getting hit a little bit, but it's boxing. You know what I mean? It's boxing. So you're gonna get hit. I thought he probably pretty much dominated Sergey Lipinets, but Sergey Lipinets was a lot smaller than him. You know what I mean? Archnemy 25. Man, what's wrong with my reading? Archnemy TV. Spence is truly in a battle against his body. He's beating up his body in training and recovering from multiple nagging injuries. Jumping back in with top fighters, wouldn't be mad at a tune-up. Yeah, that's actually true, man. I think he probably should. Well, I mean, I don't know about his eye. In the situation with his eye, I don't think the tune-up situation is going to make a big difference, because, as a matter of fact, with his eye, he probably might be better off getting in with the big dogs and having less wear and tear on it and just kind of going for it. I mean, at this point in time, I think, Errol Spence Jr. should be trying to think about maybe 4 or 5 fights left. When you get that eye injury, I don't think that's something you should consider, keeping, where you keep your career going for another 10 years. I think he should probably set some goals for himself. And then when he achieves those goals, let it be a day, man, because he's absolutely done a ton of stuff in his career, and he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done in his career. So, And if he does it right, he'd make a lot of money in his next 5 fights. I would like to see him fight Yordenis Ugas, then Terrence Crawford, then maybe something, get a belt at 154, somebody at 154, then get maybe a Canelo fight or something like that, and then run out of there, man. Because when you get your eye hurt, they said when I read the report that was out on his eye, it said that you could have like that particular area where it was torn, you're not likely to get another tear right in that same area, you could get a tear in an area, in that same eye, but another tear in that eye, but just not where the surgery was conducted. So, but whatever it is, Errol Spence Jr., I'm saying, he's a brave dude, clearly, because, and somebody that is there, is definitely, focused on being the best that he can be in a boxing ring. I applaud him for coming back from that car accident, man. I mean, he was blessed to get through that car accident, and I think maybe his blessings will keep on flowing, man. But like he said yesterday, or what was reported that he said yesterday, he said he's really glad that, that thing got discovered before the fight happened. And, and shoot, so am I, man. That's what's up. But, you Pac-Man fans, and you pretty much just racist boxing fans, because I don't know why I forget this all the time. There's a shitload of you just guys that are just flat out racist out there, man. The amount of time that I've been paying attention to boxing and how bad you got, I actually have to go back, because these boxing channels like the LDBC, New Media, have become such a haven for black boxing fans where we can come and talk boxing, and we don't have to worry about going to like the message boards that used to be around. Sometimes I forget about the massive amount of truly racist boxing fans that there are, who are really a big problem in the sport of boxing, who look for every opportunity to turn on black fighters, So sometimes I got to remind myself, man, how blessed we are really to have this type of environment for people to talk boxing and feel safe, what they call a safe place. You don't have to get called monkeys, and you don't have to get called all those names that we used to get called when we go to like by Max Boxing or go to East Side Boxing Chat, because those used to be how we would do all this. Like this is just like a video chat room, really, like where all the comments are on a video that comes every day versus the chat being on a news article that was written. But man, I don't know how many of you guys were around watching it at that time, man, but I promise you, man, that shit right there was it was fucking bananas, man. I would be going and I absolutely loved it, man. Chillville in that super chat. I don't want to miss these super chats because 2 of them hit the deck. Man, Robert Jaramillo, much love in that super chat. And by the way, you guys hit the super chats. It really makes the day, man. Thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate you guys for supporting every morning, man. Good morning, Martin. Where does Munguia sit with you? Why we never speak on that man? Well, look, Jaime Munguia, he was somebody that really came in with a big to do when he beat, who did he beat? He beat up Saddam Ali. Saddam Ali had won the 154 WBO belt, and I think he's just in prospect mode. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, a little bit of his shine got knocked out because he had some lackluster performances. But, I don't really talk about him because, like I think of Jaime Munguia still as a prospect. And somebody that, just probably, needs to develop his skills a little better. But, he's going to wind up being at 160 pounds and definitely has a chance to be a really, really good fighter, man. I like Jaime Munguia. He's a tough fighter, man, for sure. UFC fighter Michael, my EST 94 in that super chat. Much love in that super chat. He said UFC fighter Michael Bisping had the same injury. He lost his eye and fought with one eye for years. Errol should be careful. He could lose an eye. Yeah, no doubt about it. But hopefully they're in different situations because Errol Spence Jr. is a multi-million-dollar franchise. So hopefully he's taking care of it. But it's tough, man. I mean, hopefully he takes care. Well, it's a situation where it doesn't get worse, and it kind of just works for him for the rest of his career. But I doubt that he's going to fight for one eye for years. I don't think that that's going to be the case. But I know that there's a lot of people that have been, John, that have been in that situation. Like a lot of people don't know that Joe Frazier fought with one eye, that he was like legally blind in one eye because of a damaged eye. That's why his left hook was so good. He just got, but it was covering up the fact that he had a damaged left eye and really couldn't see. I think that back in the day used to be something that boxers had to deal with a lot. If you look at Sam Langford's pictures, it was like Sam Langford, I think, wound up going blind after his stint in boxing. Look, man, we got 275 people in the building, 136 likes, man. Come on, let's get the likes up over 200, man. Like my man John Mayfield says, come on, 250 people in the chat and 23 likes. Let's help this great channel for boxing fans. He brings the content. We can all help make it great. Let's go, man. That's Man, my daughter used to play this girl, little girl, super talented little tennis player, man. She's younger than my daughter, but she used to always go, come on, let's go, and just hype herself up, man. I used to love how she do that. I need to do that in my life when I get down on myself. Let's go, and to help myself feel a little better when I get down, man. I have a tendency to dwell on things a little bit much. Copper Aborigines said, Muhammad Ali's grandson will come into his own. This youngster can hit, but still green in boxing. So he looked good. That's what's up. He definitely comes from a great talent pool. That's for sure, man. Baron Spencer said, Mr. Fannon, what's good? Good morning to you, sir. Thank you, man. Good morning to you. And good morning to everybody in the chat, man. We almost got 300 people in the building. So make sure you guys hit the like. And also your super chats were so important. So thank you to everybody that super chatted. That's been absolutely greatly appreciated as well. Let me see. Malcolm Allen. I'm going to take this. Hopefully this is directed towards me. It's plenty of them, but I've noticed that some of the brothers try to keep it pure boxing, but you can't help those who don't relate, although they respect the hell out of you guys. I'm not sure what that means, man. I'm sorry. I came in the middle of an outside conversation. Make sure when you guys are leaving messages in this, man, that you put Fannon on the top of it so that I can do it, man. Copper Aborigine said, facts, Martin. Joe Frazier is a perfect example. Yeah, man. There's a lot of boxers, man, that what? Man, they spiked Pacquiao's water. That's why his legs wasn't working. Pac got set up in the fight. Isn't fair, man. Boxing is killing boxers who made money for the organization. That's not cool, man. Come on, man. You're saying Yordenis Ugas poisoned Manny Pacquiao's water? Manny Pacquiao made his legs cramp? Man, see, how do you just those now? Look, man, if he's got the toxicology reports, let him put them out. As soon as Manny Pacquiao says my water was spiked, I'll take Manny Pacquiao dead serious, because I believe there's a significant chance that might be running around in boxing. So, let me not be a hypocrite. Let me make sure that I'm not a hypocrite, and that I give up and I say, hey, there's a possibility that Manny Pacquiao got his water poisoned. Definitely a possibility that he got his water spiked. And if he got his water spiked, he got his water spiked. But you know what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to actually claim that. If he doesn't claim it, I can't pay any attention to it. If he doesn't actually say, I believe that I got my water spiked. I believe that I got my water spiked. Just like Deontay Wilder. When Deontay Wilder said it, hey, man, I'd have never heard Deontay Wilder make excuses before. So when he makes one, when he comes up with an explanation for what he thinks happens and he's that firm on it, hey, man, maybe it happened. I wasn't there. I don't know. I wasn't the one tasting the water. So maybe he did get his water spiked. However, I think they did spike it, they spiked it with a little thing called years and years and wear and tear on your legs, man. We got 168 people in the building. Come on, man. We got 162 likes. Let's get the likes up, man. Let's get the likes up, man. And share the video also. That would be great, man. Share the video on your social medias so we can grow the channel. Definitely love these conversations. The early morning conversations are really fun. Start off your day good over here on this boxing channel. My man Kimber 4509 said, Fannon. Oh, and if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I know some of you guys come in and out and ain't actually subscribed. Said, Fannon, what's your take on Spence having to show his proof of eye injury and surgery behind what Hopkins was putting out there? Sucks that your own base can be your biggest hater. You know who Bernard Hopkins reminds me of? He reminds me of Steven. He reminds me of Steven in that movie Django Unchained, where he's kind of like the house. He's the head house nigga. I hate to use that phrase, but he's the head house man out there, and he's going to be the one making sure that everything is right with all the other colored folk. That's what he looked like when he said that, man. Because it's like, man, how you gonna come up with this eye injury right before this fight? Now, I bet you Errol Spence Jr. wish he didn't have that eye injury, because then if he didn't have that eye injury, y'all are so, man, y'all are lucky. You know you lucky that Errol Spence Jr. pulled out of that fight, Manny Pacquiao fans, because if they would have poisoned his water against Errol Spence Jr., he was going to get knocked out, knocked senseless. My man, be easy, man. You guys at Super Chat, man, thank you guys so much. He said, showing love and continued support. Martin, keep it up. Yes, sir, man. Much love in that Super Chat. I greatly, greatly appreciate you, man. Greatly, greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. And my man said, Tupac and Biggie. I mean, that's what he looked like, didn't he? Dude, he looked like Steven. He looked like Steven, like, hey, man, what he's going to try to do is he's going to be that. You know you got them Negroes out there. You know you got there. Like I've been telling you, there's three types of Negroes, man. There's the number one, there's the number two, and there's the number three. None of them trust white people. The number one is going to be this flat-out coon that is just going to 100% defend white people in anything that they do, and they don't got anything to do. They don't want anything to do with black folk. Then you got the ones that are going to ride the fence, go quiet, and all of that stuff, right? And I think it's kind of like, and then you got the hardcore black folk that don't trust white people and are going to tell you that they don't trust black people, they don't trust white people. So Bernard Hopkins to me seems like, you know, kind of like one of those number ones, man. But I like Bernard Hopkins, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, he got washed, man. But it is what you hey, look, man. You got to find a reason that your fighter got washed, you know. But if you're going to find a reason that your fighter got washed, you look at the real reason that he got washed. It's the age. That's the look, man. If you Manny Pacquiao fans want to go out with race, just say Manny Pacquiao got old. That's all you have to say. You could say, look, Errol, he would have absolutely beat the piss out of Yordenis Ugas. The only problem is he was 42 years old. And then sit back and be like, yeah, I'm down with that. That makes 100% sense. I like that. It's what it is. And then you can live with it because that is true. And nobody could deny that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Deontay Wilder's gloves, man. Look, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what's going to happen in the third fight, because I know that Tyson Fury is in and of himself a good fighter. He's a big guy and all that. But I know for certain that he cheated in those first and second fights. And I can sleep with that. And it doesn't matter what happens in the third fight. I know that he cheated in the first two. But that is something that I, who didn't, and I'm admitting I didn't like seeing Deontay Wilder get beat. I could definitely sit there and know, though, that he got cheated. So if you don't like the fact that Manny Pacquiao got old, just take what's there for you, man, the fact that he's old. And if he was a little bit younger, it would have been different. I do the same thing with Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali. Like if Larry Holmes fought the Muhammad Ali that was back in 1967, that fight would have been totally different, because one guy is absolutely a shell of himself when they fought. You know what I mean? Tony T in that building said if his drink was spiked, his whole body would have cramped up. His hands clearly wasn't cramped. Look, man, Manny Pacquiao, hands look slow. His hands look slow. It's just he's not the fighter that he used to be, and you guys got to get used to that, man. Hey, look, man, we got 300 people in the building, 188 likes, man. Hit the like button on your way in. We got our 6 usual people disliking the video, but it is what it is. Dislike away. It's not going to change nothing. We still in here talking about this boxing, man, and loving talking about this boxing. Doom Duke, Fannon, I wonder what excuse Pac-Man would have come up with after Spence knocked him out. Same thing. His legs cramped up. It would have been the same thing. His legs cramped up, something, or it was just a lucky punch, maybe the lucky punch excuse, and we need to run this back. And hey, I like that. And that's one thing about Manny Pacquiao. I will tell you though, dude, that he will run the fight back. So he's not like he's a scaredy cat or anything like that. I believe 100% that Manny Pacquiao will run this Yordenis Ugas fight back. I just don't see if there's much of a point, man, because I don't see anything changing in that sucker. You know what I mean? Yeah, what's Blazing Sports? Get them likes up, man. Come on, man. We got 300 people in the building. 200. Oh, we got almost 200 likes, man. We can get the likes over 300, man. Get the likes, because it tweaked the algorithm, man. It gets more of the what do you call it in there, man? The notifications out, because it actually tells them that you like what you see. And this is a pretty good live stream, man. We work hard in this live stream. Wes Winslow said, I hate to see Pat get hurt in his last fight. He should hang it up while his quality of life is good. Yeah, man, because I'm telling you, that shit that he was getting hit with was not nice. Those shots behind the ear, man. She said, you guys don't know the other side of boxing politics. I'm pretty sure I get the boxing politics. People want to keep their money. That's the root of all of the politics. People want to keep their money. Gambling is the root of all of that. I think I got a good understanding of it. The politics of boxing is that you want your guy to win so that your guy can continue to make money. It's no more complicated than that. The individual fighter wants to keep winning, so they'll keep making money. The promoter wants them to continue to win so they can keep making money, unless they've got a fighter that they would rather see, that they think will make them more money. But over the time, it's just what it is, man. That's what it is. Everybody in boxing, they want to keep the money to themselves. So when you want to keep the money to yourselves, hey, man, all kind of stuff happens, you know. Tyson Fury didn't want to lose. He knew that was a close. He knew that was a close fight, or it was an opportunity, you know, where that fight was a 50-50 fight between him and Tyson Fury. And he decided that he was going to take the way that he was going to get the advantage outside the ring. That's the politics of boxing. Anybody that wants to continue to win, they do what they do to win. And that includes in as far as the fighters themselves, you know, training the hardest as they can, keeping themselves in good, you know, physical condition, right? Some fighters that have the ability, and managers that have the ability to pick and choose their opponents, pick and choose the opponents that they will look the best in, right? Well, they're not going to match their fighters up against people where they think the guy's going to lose. That's just what it is. And in certain circumstances, there are fighters who are so good that they look like they make it look like their fighter may lose to them, so they don't get the fight. There was a question earlier that I was looking at and trying to get to about Gary Russell Jr. and whether I thought Gary Russell Jr. was going to fight Monster Inoue. Monster Inoue is not going to become up to 126 pounds with Gary Russell Jr. there, because nobody at 126 wants to fight Gary Russell Jr. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. and even if Gary Russell Jr. went down to 122 pounds and they were both at 122, I don't think he'd fight Gary Russell. Gary Russell Jr. will beat Monster Inoue, and he'll beat him badly. Same way that once, you know, what's that guy's name? Kid Galahad. I had a lot of people that rep Kid Galahad out of the UK saying Kid Galahad will fight Gary Russell Jr. Kid Galahad will fight Gary Russell Jr. But as soon as Kid Galahad got the IBF belt at 126, all of a sudden, you know, no conversation about Kid Galahad fighting him. He wants to fight the other champions at 126. So, you know, there are just certain fighters that the boxing politics stands in the way of these guys fighting. My man Potato Chip 777, thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. That super chat means a lot, man. He said, I'm 42 years old, and after a 1-year layoff due to COVID, I joined adult basketball league to play, and Achilles tendonitis said no. Hey, man, 42 years old, you're wear and tear will get you. I got tendonitis in my Achilles, man, because I was a long jumper. That doesn't feel good. Whenever I drive too long, my ankles cramp up, man. But yeah, man. Joe Biden's burner said, I'll fight Gary Russell Jr. Hey, man, then go ahead and call him up. You seem like you may be one of the only people willing to do that, though. But hey, man, call him up and do it. Let's check these likes, man, because you guys, man, we got 321 people in the chat, 220 likes. Come on, man, let's get the likes up. And thank you so much to everybody that supports the channel through the super chat. It really does mean a lot. You guys, you know, it may not seem a lot to you, man, but it was really appreciated over here. Brazzy Too Deep said, Fannon, if Wilder wins, the next fight? Do you think they'll finally investigate Fury's glove from the other 2 fights, especially the second fight? No. I think if Deontay Wilder wins that fight, then that is absolutely going to be it. And Deontay Wilder moves on to what he's got to do, and other people move on to do what they got to do. You're never going to find a time in which they're going to really investigate those gloves, man, because the gloves it's already there, man. Man, master, my man Daniel Stanley in that super chat, man. Thank you so much, man. That means a lot to the channel. Thank you so much for supporting. When you get up, thanks for supporting this early morning chat and helping fund the early morning chat is greatly, greatly appreciated. Said America's boxing is corrupt. Really? And other people's boxing is not corrupt? Boxing is corrupt, period, man. I don't see it being any different in the UK, except for the media being a little less corrupt. In the United States, we got corrupt media. That's the problem with one of the big problems with American boxing is that we got corrupt media. Hey, man, we got 314 people in the building, 230 likes. Come on, man, let's get the likes up. And also thank you again to everybody that donates through the super chat. Greatly, greatly appreciated. CG Cap said, got a terribly arthritic right knee from 3 knee surgeries, 2 straight ACLs, 1 bucket handle meniscus scope. Get a spam support if you can afford it. It'll change your life with regards to lessening pains, man. Pain. Yeah, I gotta. Mine doesn't act up too much as long as I'm not overusing it, you know. But man, my legs are done though. That's for sure. There is no spring in them. I kept springing my leg into my 30s, but no spring in my legs whatsoever in my early 50s. Yeah, except, you know, she said it's a gladiator sport. Yep. Nick Menendez said Thurman should get his belt back from Ugas. It's an easy win for him. Ugas doesn't attack. He just puts pressure on and wants to counter a good jab. Along beats him with Thurman. Thurman should rematch. Then Thurman should rematch Manny. Hey, man. How many, man, that's the stuff he said. How many times can you hit the like button, Fannon? You can only hit it once, man. If you hit it once, you hit it. When I'm talking about hit the like button, I'm talking about the people that haven't hit it. If you not hit it, go ahead, man, and participate in the chat, man, and hit that like button, man. It ain't bad. It ain't going to harm you. You know what I mean? Rameth certified damager. Fighters like Holmes, Hopkins, Foreman have took losses late in their career and people thought they were done. Pac-Man does make excuses, but we don't know if he's done just yet. Well, the problem with that is the style of fighter. You know, the style of fighter. And Holmes was pretty much not completely done, but Holmes lost to a real young Mike Tyson, but he still had his skill set, and his skill set was not dependent upon having the fastest hands or having the fastest feet. Neither did Hopkins or neither did Foreman. Foreman was a big puncher. You know what I mean? Man, I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Raja, Mr. Raldaz. Look, man, your boy lost. He may have gotten his water poisoned, but look, don't have so many people around you. He's got like 500 people around him that could have done it, but I don't think he's accused. Here's the thing, man. You're obviously, or at least this is what it appears to me. It appears like you're taking what Deontay Wilder said and just throwing it out there next to Pacquiao's name. If that's not, when let me read that. I don't mean to read. It said, Mr. Once Manny is gone, so are y'all, and it bothers y'all. We're boxing fans, not fanatics for a fighter. That's the difference. Yeah, that's true. People around here that typically come around this channel, we're a fan of boxing, period. Not just fan of one fighter, but a fan of the sport. Now, even though you do definitely have American boxers that you follow and more people get behind, but people like multiple fighters. And a lot of the fans, like the Filipino fans, you got your Manny Pacquiao, and I know you want to hang on to him big time, but so hang on to him. But I'm just saying, you're hanging on to him, you know, You're hanging on to him in a way that may wind up hurting Manny Pacquiao later down the road. But that's all right. You're not going to be there for Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao's old and Manny Pacquiao's got brain damage or whatever the ramifications of getting punched in the head too much is, it, you know? Oh, it said American boxing doesn't control the alphabets that run the boxing championship belts. Now, that's true. I think the only one that's in the United States is the IBF. The rest is in Mexico. Was it Mexico, Venezuela, and Puerto Rico? But I'll tell you this, though, the Western Hemisphere does control it. And if you can't, I love what the ABC did, because the ABC made it a lot more difficult for people to try to get over, you know, or at least what they did, trying to correct the WBA and force those guys to get rid of all those belts, man. How you got 50 extra belts? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got 50 extra championship belts spread throughout the world. It's ridiculous, man. But I'm telling you, the hub of boxing is the United States. So when they forced them and said that they wouldn't let the WBA put on fights in the United States, it's amazing how less global the boxing got. And the WBA was like, oh, I guess it ain't that global, when everybody from all around the globe comes to fight in the United States, you know? So I like what the ABC did. And then as a result, I definitely like, you know, what the WBA did in result. I just hope that they do the same thing for everybody else and gets rid of those things, man. So you can have real, you know, somebody's about to do a CompuBox. UN Animation said, question, Manny Pacquiao threw 815 punches, landed 130, connect 15%, meaning he missed 685 punches. To a fighter that stood in the center of the ring, I predicted Ugas would win. He Spence without power. Yeah, the guy that had that, he had kept him at a distance, man. Mike Wilson said, Fannon, who do you like between Porter and Bud? I lean towards Bud in that fight. I think Bud has the advantage in that fight. I think that he's probably the more, yeah, I mean, it's tough to see. It's just, that's man, 55-45 fight. But, you know, he's a really big hurdle for Terrence Crawford. But I could see Terrence Crawford, I'll put it this way, if Terrence Crawford wins that fight in the same fashion that he's been winning his other fights, that says a lot for Terrence Crawford. It says an immense amount for Terrence Crawford. Greatness is the people's champ. How could you not ride with the champ? Ugas is the champ. Let me rub that in on you. Ugas is the champ. Yeah, riding with champ is one thing. Using racism against those that don't is the problem. Oh, yeah, so if he's doing that, you probably need to get up out of here, man. But I'm not in the middle of that, dude. I'm not getting in the middle of you guys' arguments about that stuff. If you're doing things that people consider to be racist, you should probably get up out of here, man. Because this is not, like I said, this is like a safe area. And honestly, man, I get tired of being called a racist for just expressing my opinion, just because people can't find a way to make an argument to counter what I'm saying. You know, that you could jump out of here and say, oh, Dwayne Dash said, Fannon, you're saying Bud over Porter. This is the first time we disagree. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I think Bud is a great fighter, man. I get on Bud because he hasn't had the big fights. It's not that I don't think he can win them. You know, I'm not looking at him like somebody that I don't think can win the big fights. I'm just saying that, look, man, you're not having the big fights. And since you're not having the big fights, I don't really know how much credit I can give you. You know what I mean? It's just, that's all I'm saying. And I think that that's fair, man. I don't think that at 147 pounds that Terrence Crawford has really done anything worth talking about, you know? And it's just kind of what it is, you know? TJ Boxing and Sports said, Fannon, I have a 50-50 fight between Bud and Sean. Bud is a better boxer, but Sean has fought better competition. Yeah, and that's what the deal is. He's going to come in there fighting against somebody that knows how to be in that has been in a championship fight before, that has been a champion, and somebody that also that is a very, very high level fighter. Because Sean Porter is a very, very high level fighter, man. He said, Roberto Jaramillo said, "You are all good, Fannon. This is one of true straight up boxing channel. Keep it up, boxing. Keep it up, good man." Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that very, very much, man. It means a lot to me when you guys say that I'm being real, and also means a lot. Thank you guys so much. Again, I'm going to keep reiterating this, man. Thank you guys. Everybody that hits the like button. We can get that like button over 300, and everybody that donated through the super chat. Thank you guys so much. Sometimes I don't necessarily say that to the people in the super chat, but you guys really, thank you guys. Like Daniel Staley's, thank you so much. Kimber 4509 said, Fannon, in all honesty, do you think Crawford and Porter even fight? Yeah, I do. I think they're going to fight. And I don't think there's much of a way out of it for Terrence Crawford. And there's nowhere else to go for Sean Porter. You know, Sean Porter is now, I mean, a ways from a championship fight because, you know, he said that he wants the Yordenis Ugas is probably going to wind up fighting Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. So that fight's not available for him. The Errol Spence Jr. is out with an eye injury. So, and if he wasn't out for an eye injury, he'd be fighting Yordenis Ugas or Manny Pacquiao in his next fight. So there's really not another championship fight out there for there's not another championship fight out there for Yordenis for Sean Porter. So I don't really know if there's anywhere else he can go. You know what I'm saying? So I that's what I think. I think he's kind of there with that, man. But as far as who the fight, I'll tell you, man, I wouldn't be surprised. I see it go in the distance. You know, I see it go in the distance. I'm just not willing to say that I know for sure that Sean Porter is going to beat him because I've seen Sean Porter get beat before, you know, and some of those and that type of shit can happen, man. Potato Chip 777 in that super chat, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. Said, I think Bud has looked good against fighters he's supposed to look good with. Porter fight will be a very good opportunity to see how good Bud is. Yeah, one of the fights that I think is interesting and I'm going to watch again was the fight between David Benavidez and Terrence Crawford because that fight was a lot closer. That fight was, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it was a really close fight because Terrence Crawford was definitely going to win that fight on the cards, but it was a harder fight than I would have thought would have been the case for a harder. It was a harder fight than I thought it would have been for Terrence Crawford. So, you know, there are moments and times when Terrence Crawford has had difficulties in fights at 147. So the question is, he said, I'm glad you fixed Kong, Martin. That's what's up. Yeah. But anyway, you get my point, man. He's got knockouts, but he's shown parts in the fight where he looked kind of vulnerable to people. So to see him fight, against Sean Porter, we'll see how Sean Porter does it. What's so Joe Biden's burner said, what's so special about Porter, honestly? Really, man, it's his versatility and his experience level. Sean Porter can fight on the inside and make a fight terribly ugly and dirty. And on the inside, he can cause a lot of problems on the inside by being somebody that is just, you know, on the outside by having somebody that has really good mobility. I think the thing that's special about Sean Porter is his mentality, how intelligent he's in the ring. The only thing that Sean Porter really doesn't miss, that he really doesn't have, is tremendous punching power. If he had more punching power, I think he'd be a lot more dangerous, and he probably would have beat Keith Thurman. But, you know, he's somebody that beat Ugas. He beat Danny Garcia. You know, he's a multiple time champion, and so he's got that confidence about himself that more than likely is going to get him, like he's going to go in the ring against Terrence Crawford and believe that he's got a chance to win. And he's going to have Terrence Crawford going in there against him worried about what Sean Porter is going to bring. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the level of fighter that he is what makes him that what makes him special, you know? Camille Oz in that super chat, man. He said, Ugas's humility is a big contrast to Pac's delusion. Yeah, man, he's almost too humble. But it's easier to do that when you don't speak English and you can't see, like, well, I don't know, man. I say that wrong. I guess he could talk shit in Spanish or talk shit in Tagalog, because I know that Casemiro talks big shit in Tagalog. So, you know, I like the shit talkers, honestly, man. I wish Yordenis Ugas had a little more Raleigh Romero in him, man. I like the people that talk all that smack talk. But it is a big but I think Yordenis Ugas has an honest humility about himself. I mean, they're very similar in some regards too, because they both have that thing, you know, where Yordenis Ugas is representing Cuba and trying to end the oppression that's take place in Cuba, and Manny Pacquiao is, you know, a public servant in the Philippines. They're both kind of humble guys, but you know, man, you in much love in that super chat to my man. UN Animation said Bud had trouble with Gamboa. Sean can box like he did against Ugas, Spence and Ugas. Sean too physical for Bud. Now that's the thing. Now I think Sean Porter, that's probably how Sean Porter's going to fight him. Try to get on the inside, try to, you know, keep Terrence Crawford from hitting him on the end of his punches. And but he can box, absolutely can box like he did against Spence and Ugas. But he also had the ability to fight on the inside, which I think Errol Spence Jr. might have underestimated. But Errol Spence was trying to go in there and go for the knockout against him too. So you know what it is. Excuse me. Manny has surpassed Floyd Mayweather in losses. That for sure he's done. Anything but above that, man, you bugging, man. Look, we got 332 people in, man. Come on, man. Let's get the likes over 300, man. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated, man. No, man, you guys can get rid of that whole conversation about Manny Pacquiao having passed up Floyd Mayweather Jr. That is absolutely just ridiculous, ridiculous. Kamal Oz in that super chat, man. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated, man. He said Ugas would happily welcome Pac rematch activation. Does he have the rematch clause? How would he get a rematch clause when he's not the champion? That is some bananas. That would be bananas if he actually had a rematch clause that where you're the challenger and you say, yeah, I want a rematch clause. But I don't get it, man. Simon Mary Jean, Manny needs to beat Mayweather to surpass him. Pretty much, man. It's like, it's just done, man. You know, you guys can say what you want to about it, but pretty much that it's just a wrap. It's just a wrap on that, man. There's no way that he's going to pass him up. The conversation should end about who's the greater fighter. But that's where you see the media really does undermine Floyd Mayweather Jr. when they say things like that. But maybe at the same time, man, I don't know. Who do I got tomorrow night between Woodley and Paul? Paul is so much bigger than Woodley, and he's trained in boxing. And so, but I don't really think it matters if Paul wins or not. People will still come back to watch him fight. So I guess I'll take Paul, but because Woodley he's not a boxer, he's an MMA guy. And the Pauls keep fighting guys that are half their size. Like, when are they going to fight somebody their own size is what I want to know. They keep literally fighting guys two weight classes down and then talking about what they're going to do. And if they're going to get into real boxing, you got to fight in a real weight class against people that are remotely close to the same size as you. Spur Good Marshall in that super chat, man. Much love out there. He said he need hell-bent Sean to show up, not Bud's friend. Yeah, pretty much. I can't wait till they have that purse bid. So Fahim Sator, so I can tell Fahim Sator that I'm right, man. Look, we got 289 people in the chat, 324 likes, man. Hit the like button, and thank you to everybody that has supported the channel through the super chats. Said, Woodley, you don't talk about somebody else, somebody's mama. Nah, that's kind of much. You guys going through this whole thing, man. Too much, man. That bias, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that bias stuff. Paul slimmed down too. Yeah, man, he's just fighting a bunch of little guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, little guys. So, I'll believe him when he fights somebody his own size that's a boxer. But until then, it's just more stuff to talk about, I guess, But it's hard for me to get motivated to talk about it, He's almost there in that Rolly Romero type of scenario, man, where it's like, I just don't care about Jake Paul. I know that's a hot topic and all that stuff, but it's just hard to get motivated to talk about something that I don't think is real boxing when there's so many real good boxers that people don't talk about at all. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to be able to do videos and talk about guys like Chris Colbert, but, people aren't really interested in Chris Colbert like that, man. So, like, a lot of the conversations fall on deaf ears, but I find these boxers that want to play humble and all that are going about it the wrong way, man. You guys need to be loudmouths, man, and talk yourselves up, because Riley Romero is getting a whole lot of attention, and Riley Romero is nobody's Floyd Mayweather Jr., but he's being able to keep his name out in the front by at least by talking a little bit, Said Skinny to Liddy reacts, said, I won't take Paul seriously until he fights a boxer, not a ranked fighter, but someone at his level with an actual boxing IQ. Other than that, he's not a real boxer to me. Nah, he's an amateur boxer. And these are amateur boxing matches we're watching. I'll take it as what it is. It's an amateur boxing match. And he's an amateur. He's very good at getting attention. They're putting big time attention on boxing matches. But we'll see how far it goes, because eventually people are going to say, all right, who are you going to fight? And if he winds up getting beat up by somebody, that's going to be the end of that bandwagon. But, it's what people are interested in right now. So, people will cover it and do whatever they got to do, man. I will say this, though. It's more interesting than a lot of those DAZN fights. A lot of those DAZN fights are like, they're better, higher level fighters, but I paid a lot of money for DAZN to show me a lot of fights I don't want to see. Like, a lot of fights that I don't want to see on DAZN. Come on, Oz. That's why I saw you put DAZN in the top of your comment section. So, said DAZN doesn't have the money to spend on what it takes to win Porter Crawford purse bid. They almost pulled out of the American market and let go of almost all their American boxing. Good. I wish they'd get rid of all their American boxing and let all of those guys go over to where they're fighting on the same network, man, so we can get better fights. I mean, I'm actually missing HBO. You know what I mean? HBO put on better. There were better fights with HBO. When DAZN came in and snatched up a lot of HBO fighters and ESPN snatched up the HBO fighters, there wound up being HBO made better fights. They may have been very biased, in what was going on, but at least they were making the fights at a certain point in time. Now it doesn't seem like they're doing that shit at all. Like, it's few and far between on the really good fights, other than with the PBC, man. You know what I mean? Oh, man. $50? You bet me. All right, I'll take that bet. Fahim Sator, and I know you're good on that bet. I'll take a $50 bet that Bud fights Porter. I'll take that bet, man. I will definitely take that bet. I'm okay on taking that bet. I don't think that is out of hand. I know where you are, Fahim, so we can exchange emails and find a way to get the money, because you're around enough, and I'll find you on Instagram when you lose this money, because I'm telling you, I just don't see how he gets out of it. And I don't believe that Bud is truly a sucker like that. Now, the only outside chance that I'm wrong is if Sean Porter refuses to come up with it. But if he loses it, if they don't make that fight, I'll pay the $50. I'll take that. It's official, and I really don't do that a lot. But I'll take that one, because I don't see a way out of it. Sean Porter said he's waiting on it. He wants to have a fight, and it's a 60-40 purse split. So, he's going to get a good cut of money. provided. No, I said if he don't pay, mods ban him. If he don't pay, I'm just going to shame him. Don't worry about that. If Fahim Sator don't pay the $50, then I'm just going to shame him, and that's going to be all there is to it, man. Mike Wilson said, Hands of Stone versus Prime Canelo, who you got? Huh. That's interesting. I think Canelo might be too big for too big for Duran, but I think Duran is a better fighter. So that's odd because Duran is really a lightweight, and he was in his prime at lightweight. That's really Duran. So Duran is like 2 weight classes down from Canelo. So just off pure size and the fact that Canelo's probably a natural 160, I might take him. But a prime Hagler versus Canelo, I'm gonna take Hagler. I'm taking Hagler over Canelo all day. I take Bernard Hopkins over Canelo Alvarez. I'll take James Toney over Canelo Alvarez. I'll take Roy Jones Jr. over Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a good fighter, man, but Canelo Alvarez to me has never shown that he's just like a legendarily, he's on some legendary level of boxing. He's just never shown that to me. Maybe he's shown that to other people. Right now, I mean, I don't want to call him out. He's not a hype job, like he doesn't have any skill, but a lot of it right now is hype. There's a lot of hype around Canelo, and Canelo sells a lot of tickets. So, the fact that he sells a lot of tickets, I think really, gets a lot of talk behind him because, you want Canelo Alvarez's name associated with your pound for pound list. You want Canelo Alvarez's name associated with your network. All those good things that come from a guy that got the torch passed to him just by getting in the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Because they can find an excuse. Oh, he was so young. He was young and it was a split decision, something like that. And they were allowed to continue, with that, with that line of reasoning. Fannon, nobody is paying $10 million for Bud Porter. I know that's the weakness. That's what you're betting on, man. I see your cards now. Fahim, don't think I don't see your cards. I know the cards you're playing. I play cards, dog. I see your cards. You're playing whoever comes in with his purse bid ain't paying that much money, ain't giving up $10 million. But don't lunch on Triller doing it, okay? I know what your card is. Your card is that nobody's going to pay that money, but whoever wins the fight, Terrence Crawford has to take the fight. The problem is, what is it going to be for, you're saying he needs to get that $4 million because it's 60-40. Yeah, I know. Good bet. I mean, it's a good bet. I'm telling you, you're making a good bet. I mean, because there's definitely a chance. But I see it. You could have the full house, man. You could have the full house. I don't think you got that full house. I'm telling you, I think my 4 of a kind beats your full. I think my 4 of a kind wins his hand. But it is what it is. I think my cards are going to win, man. I think that the fight's going to happen because if it doesn't happen, just what a debacle. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this fight does not happen for Terrence Crawford, what a debacle. You know what I mean? He said, Fahim, it is. That's not a lot of money for that fight. Yeah, but $10 million, they need to come up with a $10 million bid to get Manny, to get him 6 and to get Sean Porter 4. And then what do they bid? Like $6 million on Teofimo Lopez versus Kambosos. So we'll see, man. But, these are 2 black fighters. So sometimes I sit back and think, are they going to do that with 2 black fighters? That is kind of a tough thing, man. I'm not 100% sure they can do that with 2 black fighters, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but, that's just that's how my reaction to racism is. That I'm just wondering, those are 2 black fighters. Excellent fight. Excellent fight. But is somebody really gonna, hold on one second. All right, that's the problem right there. You know, is somebody going to pay that money for it? You know what I'm saying? That's where I am with it. Who knows, though? We'll see. I just solved the problem for my wife, though, man. My wife was working on my computer last night, and man, no one, I feel a lot better. All of a sudden, my computer is bright and everything, man. We have a really good chat in here today. Oh, where's my man Christopher? Side dude. No, that shit is the best nickname, dog. Side dude said out there messing with somebody. You better be careful messing with people's wives, man. You know, people get a little hot about that shit. They tend to get irrational when it comes to messing with the wifey. You know what I mean? But side dude said, Fannon, do you think Crawford will still leave Top Rank? I'm getting re-signed vibes from Crawford. Dude, I'm telling you, I would almost be shocked. Almost be shocked if Terrence Crawford left Top Rank. Really, because he's been doing so well with Top Rank and making so much money with Top Rank that it just seems like he's going to be in that scenario forever with Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I am. I just really don't see it. You know what I mean? My man Fahim Sator said, Fannon, Bug going to vacate and move up to 154 and fight who? Brian Castano? He's like, who's he going to fight? But I see you. Fahim, I see you. You thought this out. I know you got it, but here's the core problem. You think that, Sean, you're really counting, besides all the other cards you got in your hand, you're counting on Bud being a bitch. That's what you're doing. You're really, oh my God, a good wife? Get you a good wife, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. My man right there said, a good wife is a blessing. Get you a good wife. It is a life-saving blessing, man. My wife is the best. I love my wife so much, man. Man, because, you know, it had some difficult times over the last couple months, man. And my wife was just like everything to me, man. Such a great support center. You know what I mean? Like, great support to have somebody there with you that stands with you during times when times are tough and when times are good. You know, it's really like, it's absolutely a saving grace, man. Kimber said, wake me up when Crawford and Porter are in the ring. I see you, man. I know. But you guys are really counting on Bud being a bitch, though, man. And I'm telling you, I don't think Bud is not a punk, man. Bud is going to fight the dude, man. He's not that. I know that he may be somebody that is like a risk reward type of dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 100% Noop. I'm telling you, man, I had a rough couple months, man. It is what it is, you know. Sometimes you got ups and downs in your life, man, and I had it down, man. Nah, I said, Fannon, don't let Fahim get in your head. Nah, I love it, man. This is the type of conversation I wish more people in the live stream would engage in, this kind of conversation with me. I enjoy it, man. It's a real conversation. Fahim Sator is a smart guy, and he knows his boxing very well, okay? He knows his history. He knows his current boxing. That dude loves boxing, and he knows Bud Crawford. So, and for me to be willing to bet you, that means a lot, because I have to actually think first of all, I'm not going to bet a lot of people if I don't think I got a chance to lose. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take the bet, really. Not because most people that make bets where I don't have a chance to lose are not going to they're not going to pay off on the bet anyway. But Fahim Sator, I don't mind betting Fahim Sator at all on this, because I need this fight to happen, dog. Like, I believe I can see this fight happening. Them announcing the fight and who got the fight and all that. But at the same time, Fahim's a smart guy and he ain't wrong often. You know what I mean? My man Mildred said, Fannon, let me get this straight. If Spence would have beaten Manny, it would be legacy define and win. Then Ugas beats him, then it's nothing. That's not what I said. It's legacy defining for Ugas, but Ugas has to do more than one thing. Ugas doesn't have on his resume, he doesn't have what Errol Spence Jr. has already. Errol Spence Jr. has already beaten Kell Brook, beaten Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, beaten Mikey Garcia. He's already, become the big sellout in Dallas, Texas. So he has a lot more, that he's already done in his career. So, I just think for Yordenis Ugas, it's more of a situation where, Manny Pacquiao, he beat the tar out of Manny Pacquiao, and now he's a major player in the welterweight division, so he gets a really big bump. You know what I mean? But if he beats him twice, he gets a bigger bump, But look, man, this has been such a fun live stream this morning. Thank you guys so much for participating in it with me. I'm going to get up out of here now. Fahim, we got to bet. We got to bet, so when you lose, pay up. Anyway, with that, I'm out. Peace.